Okay, looks like we are finally ready to throw it over to Narwhal Prime. Fantastic game. Prime is just, it's fantastic. With Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, any percent solo. So, shoutouts to him.
Bash. Yes, hello, I'm Narwhal Prime, and on the couch behind me is Celestix. This game is called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Basically, the way the game is normally played, you have a diffuser who must defuse bombs on screen by cutting wires, pressing buttons and such, and they'll also have one or more experts who can read the manual but cannot see the bomb, and the diffuser cannot see the manual. So it becomes a party communication exercise where clear communication is key to defusing bombs. Now, I'll be running any percent, which is going through all the 32 vanilla bombs. And the solo is, well, normally there is a manual,
Yeah,
as you see here.
Yep, there's normally a manual.
Yep.
We are not actually going to be using it at all. So
Shots.
So we're not going to be using it.
Yep. Well, it's just me here. And of course, Celestix will be providing commentary on the game. Okay.
You want to talk about what happens if?
Oh, yes. As a little extra incentive for myself, for every, we'll explain soon, for every premature explosion, I will be donating 20 bucks. And for every alarm that goes off, I will be donating 5 bucks. So that is the challenge set. All right, I assume you would be tracking that.
Yeah, I'll be tracking it from over here. Okay,
right.
So before we get into the game, just real quick, one thing that you'll be seeing right away is that you can actually start solving modules on the bomb before the bomb actually becomes active. So I'm just going to say that right now because you're going to see it right as he starts the first one. But with that, I'll leave it to you to start the countdown when you're ready.
All right, so we are about to begin. I guess we can start the time as soon as I press the start button. So I guess I'll give a countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1, start.
All right, so welcome to the game Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, a game designed by Steel Crate, where we've already explained that the goal of every bomb is to avoid exploding it. All right, and to defuse it. But yes, we actually do explode it after clearing it because we are allowed to. It's still considered a clear by the speedrunning rules. Okay, cool. So we're going to be heading into Section 2's bombs. I'm going to be trying to explain all the modules as we see them. So just the quick ones. The ones with wires, that's just simple wires. There's a specific set of rules that's dependent on what the bomb looks like that tells you which one to cut. And the button that says abort on it just needs to determine when to release it based on the digits in the timer.
You've saved everyone. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah. Yeah, just to clarify, like when all the modules LEDs turn green and you hear that victory chime, then it's safe to exit from the bomb. This is so that we avoid the. So let me check that. Let me actually check that. Okay, yeah. Okay. 6 is good. X. X. That one. Okay.
The buttons that Narwhal are clicking right now, those are just going to be following a specific order from a list of symbols.
Gotta wait for that. Yeah, the button timing is kind of interesting. The rules on that depend on the existence of certain digits in the timer. So properly timing that is key. Now, a little optimization I do for that is I accrue a certain number of strikes. That actually makes the timer count down a little faster so I can get the desired digits. It doesn't always work in our favor, but anyway, we're gonna actually come to Simon. So if you want to explain that.
All right, so in Simon Says, you're just doing what you expect to do. You're playing Simon Says, except you're not going to be clicking the same lights that you're seeing on the module itself. They follow a specific set of rules that is dependent on what the bomb has as part of its state.
3, 4, 4, 3.
Yeah, so the little numbers that Narwhal is saying right now are part of a module called Memory, which is on the bottom left. The only thing you need to know regarding this module... Oh, no!
We're good, we're good, we're good.
Very cool. The only thing you need to know regarding the memory module is that it is dependent on the numbers and the position of numbers that you have clicked before, which hence why it's called memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so things I'm just saying are like the positions and labels I have seen so far. Okay, we got a vowel. Okay. Okay. 4. Cool, that was a good one. Want to explain the Simon sequences?
Yeah, so in Simon says you can have anywhere between 3 and 5 sequences of lights to complete. Of course, this is all dictated by RNG. 3 lights sequences are the best. 5 sequences are the worst. And this is all RNG. We can't really do much about it, but on average, it evens out.
So yeah, so we just completed the last chapter 2 bomb. So going to chapter 3, which introduces password and I believe Morse. Yeah, so this time it's password. Okay.
All right, cool. So password. Every column here has up to 6. It has 6 letters. You're trying to make a 5-letter word out of it. There's a list of 5-letter words that are considered valid. If you make an invalid 5-letter word, it does not count. You will get a strike.
2 4 3 3 3 4 3 3. Okay. 4 3. Cool.
All right.
So that was 3.1.
I kind of view this as like aggressive menuing. It's explosive menuing.
Quite accurate. Yeah, menuing is actually quite important. So during these black screens where it says this screen is for your eyes only, which we are following the rules for, by the way. Yeah, I'm furiously clicking through that. And also properly pressing the next button to activate the next level. Yeah, that's also just proper clicking there.
The bottom right module that you see here, this is known as complex wires. It's a little bit different from the set of wires you see on the top right here. Complex wires is, instead of just trying to click and cut one wire, you're cutting multiple different wires based off of rules depending on what the bomb has on it.
No alarm yet. It's kind of... Oh, we got a Morse here, so we're going to have to do that first. Would you like to explain why?
Yeah, so Morse, there is a specific word that's spelled out in Morse, and it's correlated and mapped to a particular frequency that you have to submit in order to clear the module.
Okay.
Oh, wow, and we also got who's on first and wire sequence.
Oh, wait, whoops. Might have read... Oh, that was the wrong position. All good. Thankfully, we still have 3 strikes here. That will change quite rapidly. Let me actually take a little safety to check the Morse real quick. Beats. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the... Yeah, that does require knowledge of Morse code, so this game is quite educational. Juggle, oi. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just do this one.
Alright, so this is
linearly.
wire sequences. I'll explain that real quick. The wires that you need to cut are based off of the number of wires of that particular color that you have seen already.
Yeah, so based on the number of wires of each color you've seen so far and what letter they're connected to, that determines a set of rules. Like, for example, you always click the 3rd blue wire if it's connected to B, stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, it's only 1. Okay. 4 2. 4 2. 4 2. I should probably not parallelize these, actually.
Yeah, so there's a specific type of multitasking that comes with speedrunning this game. In particular, there are 2 different classes of modules that we like to sort of split apart, one being stateful and one being stateless. So, for example, memory is stateful because you need to remember what you've done in the past. Similarly, this one, wire sequences, you also have to remember what you have done in the past. Some different modules, such as Morse, are stateless because there's no memory required for you to actually solve it based off of previous stages or iterations of the module itself. You just... Alright, that's $5. Oh, you're not gonna go for it. Alright, it's like the song.
2 4 4. 3 1. Dang it. Alright. That's
Wait,
good.
does that actually count as a...
Yeah, that's $5.
Alright,
Yeah,
that's $5.
Yeah.
We're doing this all for charity.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, so there's specific mods you can have the game. We only added the sound mod for the alarm. Don't worry, we didn't make any of
I
the
see.
modules easier or anything of the sort.
Yeah, that's the only mod we installed beforehand.
In fact, it probably got more distracting with that with the Rickroll in there.
Alright, so the top right module that you saw, Narwhal, just completing the first stage of. That is known as Who's on First. To basically put bluntly, there is a word at the top of the screen. It determines which word list you have to look at. And with that word list, you just need to click the first word that pops up from the 6 choices.
Mhm.
There are actually 28 different lists of words, so Narwhal has to remember all of them. Each list has a lot of different words. He has to remember the first 9 or so words of each
Yeah.
one.
We're coming up actually to the first hardcore bomb, which is you get 1 strike, you're out. So these require a little more focus, but otherwise we're fine.
So you might notice that the timer doesn't have the strike indicator on it anymore. So as soon as you make a mistake, it's a reset.
For that level.
Yes, not for the run.
1442. I'm just staying a little safe here. Okay, for COK blank. Romb, wait, right, okay. That one, okay. Don't you register? Okay, one more. Where's view? Cool. Smooth.
All right. We'll actually be having Narwhal do a bomb completely consisting of just who's on first modules, and I'll just be quiet for that bomb just to let him speak out his mnemonics and how he goes through processing all of the different stages.
Yeah, you might hear me say like random things throughout this run. Yeah, those will just be mnemonics that I say to myself. Oh, whoops. Yeah, part of the run is like before even. I suppose in the rules it's not strictly banned to use the manual because frankly we can't really moderate that. That being said though, it's generally faster to memorize, so it's basically like faster to recall and such.
So you might notice that there's this white little square that's trying to reach this red triangle. This is known as maze. The green circles determine one of 9 different maze configurations to look at, but you have no idea what the walls are, of course.
Oh, got it.
Narwhal knows what the walls are, so you just get through without any issues.
Yeah, there are 9 possible mazes. The walls are invisible. They're only distinguished by the green markers, the green circles. I'm actually coming to chapter 4, which introduces the idea of needy modules, if you want to explain that.
Yep. So needy modules are not needed to be solved. Instead, you are required to tend to them, which is why they're needy, before their current sort of timer is up. If you're unable to tend to them, or unable to tend to their needy needs, then they give you a strike. For the most part, needy modules will explode the bomb because all of the all the bombs that use needy modules have this 1 strike, except for 1 bomb for which there are still 3 strikes. Yeah, that needy module that was on the other side, we didn't look at it at all because we were able to solve the bomb in under 45 seconds, but that one you just gotta hold down a lever in order to keep the timer running.
Yep, and that would be the needy capacitor. But yeah, for the most part, we can ignore needies if we're going smoothly enough. There might be a few times where we have to. Oh, okay, it was the E. All right, that's 1.
Just menuing, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. Penalties can vary based on what stage you're on the bomb. So that was like right at the start, so it was not too bad. Okay, let's get the batteries. Okay, hello. So that's indication that. Wait a minute. Oh wait, well, I was looking at even, but it should have been vowels. Oh my goodness.
It's okay,
No
it's
worries,
all for
no
charity.
worries.
Your 2 bombs is 40 bucks.
That's 2.
All right, yeah.
Oh boy. Can't back out now. Alright, we'll take this a little safe here. Okay, so I got TH. That's probably 3. Okay, that's 3. Something about, yeah.
Yeah, so luckily for password, there are only so many different 5-letter words that can be made, so you can sort of parallelize, look at the first 3 letters, and it generally tells you which 5-letter word you need to submit.
Blank, done, you. Okay, don't worry about that. We can vent the gas later. BJO. Okay, good.
So that needy module where it's asking to vent gas, you only have to answer yes or no. The only answer you do not want to give is the question detonate. If you say yes to that, you'll blow up the bomb.
Prematurely.
By the way, someone in chat mentioned we missed a potential incentive for Celestics to eat the manual.
Part of a healthy breakfast.
Lots of fiber.
Mm-hmm. Parallel batteries, cool.
Tell you what, if we actually get the word Kappa on the 5-letter password, then I will do it. No bamboozle.
All right, you heard it here first, I guess. Okay, so that was the knob. Another needy. Yeah, all the needies except for the knob don't require back and forth communication with experts. It's just to annoy the diffuser. Co-star H. Cool. Below. This is an example of a set configuration bomb, actually. It's always password, wires, and what was that? Keypad. I know. Small. It's probably small. Yeah. Alright. 101.
Now, normally in the usual co-op playing of this game, having the 3 needy modules on the same side of the bomb is very, very nice. In a speedrunning setting, that's also nice too. That being said, though, we usually don't tend to them. We much rather prefer having all of the actual solvable modules on the same side instead.
Yep. And sometimes you can get lucky if not the entire bomb is filled with modules, but like if the bomb isn't filled entirely with modules, but they're all on the same site, then that's really nice to have. So forth. I'll just do this one. Okay. So what do I have? Batteries and even. Oh boy, that's a lot of wires. Cool. Ones. 1, 2, 2.
I'm deliberately not trying to talk about the rules during this because this is a solo run, so a lot of what you're seeing right now you can consider as just magic, but just trust me on this one, Gnarl knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. For reference, you can go on the devs have provided the manual at bombmanual.com. That is a legitimate site. Trust me on this one. Well, search up Keep Talking Nobody Explodes.
Alright, so this is 5-2, and this is going to be where I'm going to just make a very quick note where the next bomb in 5-3 is going to be the Who's On First modules only. And I'm just going to stay quiet during the duration of that bomb to let Narwhal just speak out his thoughts while he's clearing it.
Alright, as long as the password doesn't troll me when I attend to it.
I make no guarantees. Just kidding.
Can we get it? Place, plant, point, right. Oh god, we got a couple seconds here. Please be an H, thank you. Oh. Alright, here go on the Who's On First.
Alright. So I'm just going to stay quiet and we'll just let Narwhal do his magic.
There's magic to bomb diffusing, who knew? Alright, so we got, okay, 1 and 3, that's fine. Okay, LED is what? Okay, that's easy. Red, UR, ZX. I might have seen the wrong position again. Alright, that's 3. Alright, we'll try again.
It's okay, we have more time to do on Who's On First.
Okay, now it's 2-2. Okay. Read their lead is views. Read their lead is wait, Tennessee B. Read their lead mid BJO. Done you are blank. Romb. Good. See nothing. Right. Okay. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Your that's easy. Nothing. Wait. Tien. Tien BOY. Learn to play. Okay. Read. CZ. Yes, there are no 2. Like is EX blank. They're blank. CA. CA. Yeah. They are no 2 done. Oh man.
All good. All good.
That might have been the wrong position again.
So there's a
Thankfully, I can.
explosions.
Yeah, it's 4. At least I can always come back and check. All right, 3rd time's a charm. C like EX. This might be a hard one. No, that's fine. Your is ZX KA Disco. Okay, first COK. That's easy. Read their lead. MN. MN fit. Okay. No is you are again. C right. Yes. Good job. PN. Oh, P. Okay. Read. Sure, you are done. Like, first OK. Done. You are. Okay. Yes, there are no 2. Next is what? AI. Okay. You. Yes, you. No. That one. Done. You. Yeah. Right. Okay. Read their lead is hold C. U. D. Okay. Cool. And first COK is U. So Santa Claus zips. Cool.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
I always like seeing you shout out the mnemonics whenever you're doing this module. It's great.
I actually got the Santa Claus one on the last one.
I'm not gonna
Really
lie,
hope
I
you
was
got that one.
pretty stressed watching that.
Trust me, it's okay.
So that was who's on first. That was great. There is also going to be another bomb in which I'm just going to completely stay quiet. That one's going to be a bomb full of mazes. And there are going to be mnemonics for that Narwhal will be shouting out.
3 1 1 3 1 3 again. 3 1 1 3 3 2 batteries, and we got even. Cool. I just come on.
All right, so you might notice that we're actually not even looking at the timer at all, pretty much for the latter half of the run. The only time we ever have to look at the timer is we have a button press, or button to press, but for some reason, all the bombs tend to not have buttons on them for sections 5, 6, and 7. That doesn't say they're impossible, but for the most part, we just never see them. I guess the game considers them too easy. Well, I guess we just got one right there.
Yeah, I mean, those fast ones are definitely a little more rare.
That was a fairly good one.
Yeah. By the way, chat, if I do happen to miss a bomb, feel free to call me out on that, in case anyone was paying attention.
They are.
Okay. Reliable as always. That's a vector. That's an easy one. So a good thing about getting the Morse cycle, actually, if you want to explain why Morse cycle is important.
Yeah, so Morse cycle, every single time when you're doing Morse, you want to be able to solve it as soon as the bomb comes active, because it is much easier to figure out which word you need to map to the proper frequency if you know the first 2 or 3 letters. If you do not figure that out within the first few letters that come up on the Morse module, then you're kind of stuck because you don't know exactly which letter and which position you're looking at.
I might have forgotten the memory. There's a little trying to get to the. Alright, we'll leave that one for later, for safety. Red, what, qua, easy. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna.
Yeah, so one thing about memory that kind of
1.
is unfortunate in terms of a speedrun setting is that if you fail memory, you have to restart the entire module. This is helpful in certain respects because it allows you to sort of clear your cache of memory just in case you forget which numbers or which positions you've hit in the past. But it does cost time, especially if you fail the 5th stage in it.
Yeah, but so far so good.
You might notice that the music actually changes as the bomb ticks down. In fact, it gets progressively harder to pay attention to the bomb once you hit 1 minute. Because as soon as 1 minute passes, the entire room is going to start animating in different like flashy lights.
We have a $10 donation from Anonymous. Thank you very much. No message, but very much appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. So we got something here. Even. Yep, just even. Cool. 101, 6 paragraphs. 211. 2 2s. 3 2 4. Cool.
All right, perfect.
What modules have we not covered yet?
I think we actually have all of them. And we're in chapter 6 right now, so
Yeah. Pretty
a
intense.
little bit of history on the speedrunning of this game. There are actually 2 different types of categories. We're doing any %, which involves going through 1.3 all the way to the end of chapter 7. There's also another category known as extreme %. I don't really know exactly why it's called extreme %, but it's just basically any % without the chapter 7 modules. So normally, as soon as Narwhal will be done clearing all of the chapter 6 modules here, extreme % will be done. But we are going the extra mile, and we're going to be clearing the special esoteric modules once we get to them.
Exotic, but yeah. It's not placed. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, that
Wow.
was unfortunate.
Or no, hold on. Plant. Yeah, those 2 words are pretty similar. Cool.
All right.
So is that 4 explosions and 1 alarm?
Yes.
Cool. Alright.
Pretty much with all the all the modules explained. I guess the only module we haven't explained yet is this needy module on the bottom left with a bunch of lights. There's an orientation to the red arrow that you have to point. So for example, in this case, you have to point it right. In this case, east, but the north facing is where it says up.
Just to mess with you.
Yeah.
So there's a 3.
Or at least that's what it looks like it has to be. I actually have zero clue how the lights work with this
2
one.
1 4. 2 3 4. Cool. Let me just make sure, confirm the knobs. Here's where we actually have to attend to needies. That's just how it works in practice.
Yeah, this is probably the only bomb for which needies are very important to clear because they start right away and the modules for this bomb in particular take quite a long time to clear.
That's boxes. Oh wait. Was that an X? Well, that's 5.
Alright.
Regardless. Is that BC paragraph? Okay. So a little bit more time lost there, but all in all, pretty consistent actually. All things considered. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is polar. Okay, this is a long maze. Oh boy. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 0. Did I attend the knobs? Yeah. 3, 2, 0, 3, 2, 1. 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1. Come on. Oh, quick. Yeah, what's especially sinister about the wire sequence, like the crisscrossing wires, naturally you would tend to... Did I just do juggler?
No, you did double trouble.
I did double trouble?
Yep.
Alright, well, we're about to figure out if I skipped one bomb here. Anyway, we're on to I am hardcore for now. Strictly speaking, I guess it's never say in the rules that you have to go in order, but it's convenient. 2. Okay, got a capacitor. Good to check the needy on this one. There's always one needy on this bomb here. There, nothing. Wait, TN. B. Okay, this is the mustache maze. Cool. First, last of. Cool. 102. Did I get the same one? 102. Oh boy. Alright, we're just gonna do a little safety there. 112, 212. 312, 313, 323. 423. Cool. Still have the remaining even. Okay, so that side's done. Cool. 2 4. All good.
Creating the suspense for the viewers right now, especially
2 4,
with that sound.
2 4. Yeah, thankfully with that one you can hear the sound. 2 4 2 4. When it's about to go. 2 4 4. Is that 4 4 4 2? Yes, it is. Give me the vowel. That one. I didn't get a FRK, did I? Okay, good. Oh. Gotta wait for a 1.
Okay, we'll count that one too.
Yeah. No, yeah. When it goes. Sweet, we did it. Sorry, I cut off the sound there. The song. It's a good song. Alright.
Alright, so we're going to exotic modules, where the name of the game is going to be well, the bombs are going to have one particular type of module on it, so you're just going to be going straight into it with all the modules being Simon Says in this case.
Yeah. I'm actually covering part of the screen because I kind of need to focus on the lights. So my strat is to look at the top, the 2 at a time. Okay, we got 3 sequence on left there, which is nice. The sequence can be 3 to 5. That's 4. That's pretty good. I forgot that color, but oh well. Okay. This is the way. I think that was too red. Okay. And I got 5 sequence here. Alright. And we'll just take this one nice and easy. Pay no attention to the timer. Oh wow, that was really
Nice.
good.
All right.
3 seconds.
44.88 is a very good time for
Yeah.
Simon Says.
Yeah, that's a very merciful Simon at the end.
We have $20 from John. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Are we going to applied theory? This is all wires.
Complex wires, but yeah. Alright, so we can look at these bomb. So the main thing is I have to look at the bomb to see what we have. Okay, so it's just, so there's no even. So we got parallel and batteries. This is an especially sinister set of rules. Batteries. Okay, cool.
Surprisingly, you're able to actually clear this bomb by just back solving everything, knowing only, I believe, 3 rules. You don't even need to look at the state of the bomb. Most configurations allow you to just solve it using your own head if you know which wires you need to cut from the start.
Yeah. Never cut this wire. That's evil. Okay. It looks, it's evil. I call it evil because it looks like a wire you should cut, based on the rules. Yeah.
I think we actually got one of the more rare tracks in the game we played.
Yeah. You mean for this? Yeah, this one's a little tricky. That's fine. Oh, we're going to the amazing.
All right, so I'm just gonna stop talking for this one and let Gnarl do his mnemonic magic.
I guess I'll explain like what's going through my head when I'm doing mazes. There are 9 possible mazes, and I assign each one a name. So it's like one of the few bombs where I had to like use very visual mnemonics. Like for example, this one is and actually throw a shout out to the subreddit for Katane that inspired this idea. Basically, like the first maze I did there was the snail, because it's also one of the easier ones to memorize because it's fairly few dead ends in that one. The others are not quite as forgiving. This one in particular is kind of long, I can tell. There's like a lot of twisty passages here, not all alike. This one is, I call the serpent because it looks like a snake on a tree. Bit of a reference there. This one's the elephant, so I go up. That mnemonic I actually took from someone who proposed this idea. I can't for the life of me remember who it was. I do apologize, but it is from the Katane subreddit. This one's serpent again. This one is also long, so I have to go twisting here and up down the tree, and that's that. Now, unfortunately, you can't actually exit out of the maze quickly, and yeah, the reason why we we explode after we solve the bomb is the return to menu option there is actually disappeared. So that's why we do the explosions after something for most of the bombs. All right. So it's pretty much smooth sailings from here. So if there's anything we missed, or if there's other donations to mention, perhaps.
We don't have any at the moment. In terms of incentives, I think we are a little bit closer to the Symphony of the Night Richter run being all bosses instead of any percent.
Donate.
Another bid war I forgot to mention, by the way, is whether to help or ignore Mustache Girl at the end of the run. Currently, help Mustache Girl is ahead with $10, whereas ignore is behind with $5.01.
225. Cool. You always nice little strat for wire sequence. You always cut the 5th wire if it's connected to B. So it's arbitrary information, but there are some patterns you can recognize. But if you are interested in running this and memorizing the manual, well, it's always nice to come up with your own mnemonics at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
But whatever works for you.
If it wasn't already set already, the mnemonic that's used for wire sequences is just the number of wires that you've seen of each color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unlike the maze, which is like very visual mnemonics, the wire sequence is frankly a little more like dead reckoning. But there's still some like patterns you can that over time you excuse me get more comfortable with. All right, so we got a lot of passwords here. Let's hope they don't all troll us at the same time. Oh gosh, small sound spell still study. It's none of the S words. Okay, learn. Thank you. Place could be point. Just like a T. Cool. One time I misspelled the word there. It's Thier. So the moral of the story is, if you want to defuse bombs properly, well, stay in school, kids. Yeah. So far so good. I think. Cool. Yeah, it's just gonna be me doing logic on the voice here. I guess similar idea with Morse is you can rule out which words are possible based on the letters you've seen so far. It's kind of a similar mentality here as well.
Yeah, certain words are a lot easier. For example, as already said, there's words that begin with TH. If you see both T and S in the beginning, it tends to be a little bit longer just because there are a lot of T and S words to see. There are some special ones, such as ones that begin with E and A. But for the most part, once you know exactly what the first few letters you're looking for are, you can pretty much ignore all of the other extraneous letters that pop up for the rest of the positions.
So assuming we've actually cleared all the bombs up till now, this is going to be the last bomb, Blinking Lights 2. So there's 6 modules on here. Time ends when the 6th green LED lights up. Let me see if I can get Shell Halls. Okay, this is Novell. All right, we'll do these 2 in parallel then.
Yeah, this module in particular has at least what I would consider, I don't know the same for you, Narwhal, but the best case of multitasking for stateful modules. Like I said, there's sort of like stateful and stateless modules that we've discussed earlier. Morse, in particular, you want to start at the beginning of the bomb, and Simon Says requires you to memorize what you've seen before. For the most part, Simon Says you only want to be doing 2 of them at the same time, but coupled with Morse, which is smooth.
Yeah, might have forgotten one of the colors there. All right, we'll try
Yeah,
it
so
out again.
it's a good example of trying to show exactly what you have to be focusing on at any moment in time. So optimizing this bomb in particular is pretty difficult. Luckily, though, in this case, if you're able to get good sort of combinations of modules in the right places, for example, 2 Morse here and 2 Simon Says right on the same row, then it tends to be fairly more lenient to the runner.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll just take care of the other Simon, honestly. So we're gonna play a little safe here. It's pretty sinister trying to multitask both Morse and Simon. Thankfully that was a quick sequence there. We're not really coming up to the beginning of the cycle, unfortunately. I think I saw T earlier. So this could be oh no, it's strobe. Okay, so cool. And then this one. So that's a B. I think we're at the beginning of a word. That's R. It could be break or brick. That's brick. Cool. And then finally, that's a C. Next one's likely a K. Yeah, so that means we're at the end of the cycle. So now we're at the beginning again. And F. Okay, so time.
All right.
Whew.
So just final stats for that. I believe it was 6 explosions, 2 alarms.
I am inclined to believe that as well. That is $130.
Your time was, by the way, was 36 minutes and 29 seconds.
Okay, not bad. Okay, so yeah, that was Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. And for those, so I suppose the original experience, I suppose, is kind of ruined now that the manual has been memorized. But this game does feature a variety of mods in the Steam Workshop. There's like countless variations you can add on to the bomb. And also like little cosmetic things like the Rickroll alarm, which hopefully you guys enjoyed. So yeah, there's endless challenges you can do, different kinds of, you can make the bombs bigger, you can drive a bus and defuse a bomb. Those are pretty good. Yeah, so is anything else we want to add about this game, or?
No, I think just the one shout. If you have any shout-outs.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'd like to thank Celestix for helping me out with the commentating, also for getting me into speedrunning, actually. Shouts to EM1, the current world record holder for any percent. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, thank you to everybody who's watching here right now for watching our Kalimba and Keep Talking Nobody Explodes runs, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. So that, thank you from both of us.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Narwhal. That was an explosive run to say the least. We have $10